The stage is set here in Pokemon Unite for us to spectate a top-ranked trainer using Alolan Ninetales in the game. So right here, we're going to be looking at Sigilmike. Oh man, these names. Gotta give me a break here. Just need to preface, of course, that while we will be focusing maybe 85-90% of our efforts all to observing this Alolan Ninetales player who is actually running a full heal right here, along with Venusaur on that purple squad. Everybody else running eject buttons in the game, but I did just want to say the camera will sometimes in that other 10% of time look at other players if we need to see some more action going on in the game. You know, we often don't want to miss something pivotal. It's a little bit hard, it's all by chance, but here we go. The match has begun, ladies and gentlemen. Here in Pokemon Unite, I am Dr. Kendo to bring you this ranked gameplay. So it looks like Sigilmike is actually going to be teaming up with Duck Daniels. That is going to be the Swinub player, as a Lucario on the orange squad does solo up top here. That is something that we see a lot of the times when we watch our top #1 team TTV. We do see oftentimes that those top-ranked squads are usually running a Lucario solo up there, generally with attack weight too as well. But we can see on the bottom lane, of course, we have TTV Joppa 1 and Drax Senpai. That's our Chansey and Bulbasaur down here sharing the lane at the bottom, and a jungling Cinderace for purple right now. Jungling right now Ivysaur, but Venusaur player for orange, who is going to be rotating up right here to assist the Lucario. Interesting thing about pairing Alolan Ninetales now as we see it with the Swinub player, you really do want to pair up with the defender if you can. I often think of like Crustle or Snorlax or something when we're using Alolan Ninetales, but pairing up with somebody that can take those melee hits, you often don't want to be closed out. You know, something great about Alolan Ninetales is that distance that you have while attacking. They are going to bring down the orange Lucario and also orange Ivysaur right now in a little bit of trouble, able to hang on seemingly, but no, right here getting frozen, and that's going to be the KO, and that's a KO streak of 2 right now for our Swinub player, who is actually, you can see how low their health is, but obviously upon scoring you are going to get XP as well as HP, and so is it going to be enough though to withstand this Lucario who is coming after them? And look at that, Alolan Ninetales kind of providing a save. Probably could have stuck with that though and continued to save, maybe to some avail with their Swinub player. There's a chance they still could have lost it just because of how low that Swinub's health was in general. But the thing about Alolan Ninetales, and this was what I was getting at before, is that when you pair up with Swinub, you know, you have 2 ice-type Pokemon, but more so in Pokemon Unite, while the typing often doesn't matter, what we mean by that actually is their ice effect, the slowing effect. So you think about Swinub's boosted attack, even Alolan Ninetales, but of course Alolan Ninetales' passive, which every so often will freeze and damage people all around you. By freeze we mostly mean, you know, they're going to be moving slower, but again, it's like when you have Swinub and Alolan Ninetales right there, both ices, you can kind of make those plays that are impacted more so by that slowing ice effect. So again, that's just kind of interesting and spicy to me. We do have, of course, the Cinderace player here as Raboot right now, Sagramur. Oh, we're probably butchering a whole bunch of names, but they are going to take Lucario down right now with that 3-on-1. It didn't really look good for Lucario's chances, of course, and so Alolan Ninetales is all about those status effects, and we'll see what moveset actually that they go with. I don't think we've seen kind of a great look where there wasn't maybe a lot of action going, but we saw an ability, and it does seem that orange Alolan Ninetales is going to be running that Aurora Veil. When it's at its max, you know, when you've upgraded Aurora Veil to the next level, it can actually reduce like something 70% of the damage that is going to go to you, and of course reduces it for your allies as well. And we can see actually that orange has taken out that bottom goal. That is going to impact a lot of the times this first Dreadnought, so we'll see if purple really could have used that. I mean, look at this, we're fighting in an area where that goal could have been very close, and purple could have been healing at it as well as just getting a little bit of a speed boost to get back into the team fight faster. But look, it seems that purple now has turned this around, so very nice, and that's a KO streak of 2 for our Alolan Ninetales player, and they are going to have mostly uncontested hits on this Dreadnought until maybe that orange Lucario tries for the steal. Can purple stay steadfast on this thing? No, it actually does happen. Wow, we kind of predicted that one. I mean, it was, you could see it coming. Purple, obviously, not enough maybe, right? So right now, orange leading in score, just 95-86. So this is nothing too drastic, but it does seem right here, Alolan Ninetales luckily getting assisted by Blissey right now, as it should, and is going to survive, it looks like. So that's actually very nice, and Cinderace just about to get the KO on Lucario, who's now going to survive just by an inch or less if you want to give it that. Very nice from Cinderace right here, because that's going to keep Cinderace in the game and get these double KOs here, not only taking out orange Swinub, but also their Alolan Ninetales. And so our purple Alolan Ninetales here will TP back to base. Looks like everybody, maybe other than Venusaur right now, and I guess Cinderace too, on purple, they are going to rotate up. We do have, of course, for orange, the Lucario kind of being that off-lane player, and that's acceptable. You see it oftentimes with Lutano, who is the top #1 Lucario in the world. When everybody else kind of rotates for an objective, Lucario can feasibly be the one that does not rotate in off lanes. And so granted here, if purple does sleep on this, it could be danger, but we see that orange also kind of delaying that attack on Rotom. So right now, here is where we finally see the engage, and there are some Unite moves being thrown out, mostly for orange, but then we see, of course, the Bliss assistance right now with Blissey, so it's going to keep Alolan Ninetales in this fight for this squad matchup, and so that's very nice, because Piloswine going to get the KO on Wigglytuff up here. Looks like Alolan Ninetales is going to go down for orange, and this is what you want to see if you're purple. You know, after you just had that Dreadnought stolen from you, you want to really try to maybe get this Rotom for a little bit of an extra oomph, especially losing that goal there on the bottom, which now the other goal is being kind of chipped away at in small point values by the Lucario. And look at this Cinderace actually being a bit of a monster here in this matchup. Gonna go ahead and start that Rotom, it looks like. We do see 2 oranges advancing on it, one of them being that Alolan Ninetales right here, but our purple Alolan Ninetales has rotated down, and so they actually, this will be a little bit iffy, you know, it just depends on what orange brings to the party. You can see that orange will soon have 3, so that'll be a 3-on-2, and Blissey obviously just kind of hanging out in the grass, so that really didn't set purple up in any good shape to get that Rotom. So now with both of those objectives done, we actually already now have the second Dreadnought here on the map. Just in case it wasn't obvious for anybody that's not familiar with spectator mode, essentially we can't see the items that they have other than, of course, the eject button, those battle items, the full heals. Maybe we can leave on screen what the game recommends, as well as some of the expert, just the Masters players, what they use for Alolan Ninetales. Good thing we might see, of course, did I actually miss it? But Alolan Ninetales with that Unite move, the Snow Globe, you can really use that in these squad fights to cover a lot of ground all around the Alolan Ninetales, really just weaken the opponents, and just using it in the middle of the group, you might finish off a lot of people who have low HP, and that is actually a team wipe right here. So orange is out of there, gonna give purple that Dreadnought here. So great job, left side team purple. They did kind of need this push, you know, they needed one of these objectives to really let people know, like, hey, we're still in this game for sure, because the score was, again, it wasn't dramatic or anything like that. And so now purple has actually overtaken orange, and so that's, to me, this is exciting because we can actually see that most of this match has been a pretty close score, and it can potentially go back and forth. Now, obviously, things are going to change a lot when we get into that final stretch with whichever team gets that Zapdos, or if there are a lot of, let's say, higher point values for each team member, but obviously double once we hit that final stretch at the 2-minute mark. And so we still have just a little bit over a minute right now before that's going to happen. Everybody's kind of looking to see which farm they can acquire, but also we're seeing sort of a meeting of the minds in the middle. A lot of the members, well, now of both squads, you can actually see them all sort of grouping up and moving in, and this Mamoswine is going to get caught off, so that's the problem right there. You can group up like this, but if you maybe consider yourself like, you know, this lone sheep or wildebeest or something that gets picked off by some lions, man, that's what purple looked like, is they were just all ready to swarm and take advantage of anybody who maybe wasn't with the rest of the pack. And there's a balance there too, right? Because of course some moves just with an AoE, if you're grouped up way too much together, there's going to be an obvious disadvantage there. Think about things like the Snow Globe from Alolan Ninetales, but even the Verdant Anger from Venusaur, or the Petal Dance. So ladies and gentlemen, it does look like the Rotom will be arriving just about now, and purple is in a decent spot to kind of block orange or maybe go for that Rotom right here. And so it looks like they're going to do some combination of the both of them, as this orange Mamoswine is trying to sneak past and just getting demolished once again. So that Mamoswine maybe on orange squad not picking the greatest opportunities, or their team is not really backing them up. I mean, you can see right now that the other orange team members, they were mostly, we saw like 3 of them grouped together, but mostly not really there working as kind of a cohesive unit. And so that's what we're seeing more so with purple, and if they do win this match, that could be one of those main things that's going to win you the game. I mean, the non-selfish, they usually are the ones that succeed. There's a Snow Globe, and that is left side team. So purple squad right now does have the Zapdos. We do see a lot of higher point values now for all of them. So of course with the double points, that's going to be some devastating hundos to get dropped. But notice, of course, orange Lucario did just drop in that 66. Was just going to say that orange was in the lead, but we obviously knew that with purple making this advance, and it's very easy on defenseless charged goals by the Zapdos, all of these 50 points are going to be dropped in to reach 100 right here. So that's a 100. What a goal all over the place. 98 right now from this Siglemic, our Alolan Ninetales player. And so right now you are at that impasse where, of course, you could teleport back to base and just kind of focus on defending. But one thing that I guess you can make a case for of staying in this enemy territory is you are still providing a distraction. So if you're doing something that doesn't allow the enemies basically to score, that's usually pretty good, but you just do have to adapt to what the match's needs are. So I always do try to emphasize that. but there are certainly principles that we can all do just as like base knowledge for the game that you should try to do every match. But like I said, definitely give it what the match needs. So play as a team, but also adapt to what your needs are. And notice that the purple squad hanging out on all their goals. They're saying there ain't gonna be no more orange goals up in this piece. So right now that Mamoswine yet again just being absolutely destroyed and shredded when getting caught up in these purple fights where it's just, 3-on-1, 5-on-1, whatever. It's a pretty obvious result, and I think that I actually see some of these team members on purple. Yes, okay, that's going to confirm the surrender right now for orange. So purple squad is going to take the lead at 709 to 352. You guys, it's pretty tough to find an Alolan Ninetales at all that's going to be in the top ranked trainers on spectator mode, but also one that's going to be a good matchup and not against bots. So I'm happy that we at least got something where we had Alolan Ninetales on both sides. They both at least made some plays, but that really was a squad effort. Feel free to click an end screen on screen if you have annotations on and see another episode. And so I'll catch you on one of those vids, and thanks for viewing.